Alright, so it's been probably about a week since I've done much of anything. Basically the computer that I do all my editing, my recording, my uploading and stuff on decided to basically start doing a blue screen of death like every 5 minutes, and that's not even an exaggeration. So yeah, I've kind of gotten something sort of rigged up so I can at least do something, but yeah, that's basically what we're doing. So welcome to Metroid Fusion. This game came out in 2002? Okay, for some reason I thought this game came out like 10 years ago, not 20. But you know what? Sometimes you just age about 10 years in 2.5 seconds. That's perfectly fine. Let's just go ahead and jump in before I completely crumble into dust and kill over of old age. I had been assigned to watch over Biologics research team, so I once again found myself on the surface of SR-388. And for anyone who doesn't know or doesn't remember, SR-388 is the planet that Metroid 2 took place on. This is where Samus was sent to hunt down every last Metroid in the wild to extinction. Which she did, aside from maybe an exception or two. But yeah, that's stuff for other games. It was there that I was attacked by a life form I had never encountered before. Ooh, mysterious. It was only later that I learned the identity of my attacker, a parasitic organism we now know as X. Unaware of my condition, I was returning to the station when disaster struck. Once the X had infested my central nervous system, I lost consciousness and my ship drifted into an asteroid belt. You know, I'm really no expert on spaceflight, but I'm gonna assume that's something you don't want happening. Also, for anyone who doesn't get the really dumb, dry sense of humor, or whatever you call it, I probably sound like an absolute idiot, but you know, I think that's part of the joke at this point. Anyway. The ship's emergency systems automatically ejected the escape pod before impact. Biologics vessel recovered it, and transported me to Galactic Federation headquarters. However, during the journey, the X multiplied within me, corrupting large areas of my power suit. It then came to light that the organic components of my power suit had become so integrated with my system that it could not be removed while I was unconscious. Large portions of my suit had to be surgically removed, dramatically altering my physical appearance. However, the X in my central nervous system were too embedded to be removed safely. I was given a minimal chance of survival. But then, someone found a cure. How convenient. They proposed using a Metroid cell to make an anti-X vaccine. It seems that the Federation had managed to preserve a cellular culture from the last infant Metroid from SR-388. The serum was prepared and injected without delay. The X parasites were immediately and completely destroyed. Also, I feel like this dialogue is moving painfully slow, so instead of getting annoyed or frustrated or whatever, I'm just going to try and read this as dramatically as I possibly can. I don't really have a good reason why, it's just, it'll sort of entertain me, I guess. As for me, one life ended, yet I survived, reborn as something different. Pondering this fact, I realized I owe the Metroid hatchling my life twice over. We'll soon be arriving at the B.S.L research station. I must prepare for docking. The ship's computer has notified me of our approach to the Biologic Space Labs, or B.S.L research station. During my surgery, the research team sent the last batch of creatures we captured there, as well as the infected pieces of my power suit. After regaining consciousness, I learned that an unexplained explosion rocked the station. For some reason, this awoke a nameless fear in my heart, and now I'm being sent there to investigate. My mission on the B.S.L station will be overseen by my new ship's computer. Following the commands of this blunt, computerized commanding officer is something I have to bear, as it was a condition of my taking of the replacement ship. For someone who dislikes taking orders, this is the second time I've found myself having to do so. It makes me recall my other commanding officer. Alright. So, another thing I want to do before I actually get into this game is I want to try and get the fastest ending in this game, just to challenge myself. I have played this game before. This is actually the very first Metroid game that I ever beat on my own. And I think I have to beat it in under 2 hours, I want to say. I know I looked it up, but I can't remember exactly, so I'm just going to aim for that. But I kind of wanted to state that now rather than halfway through the game. That way I don't just immediately set myself up for failure. So, yeah. There's been an explosion in the quarantine bay. The bay currently stores... is really moving even slower. Oh no. The bay currently stores capsules containing recent samples from SR-388, as well as parts of your suit infected by the X-parasites. I guess we're just gonna give this computer the really bad Shatner impression. The cause of the explosion is as yet unclear. Investigate. The quarantine bay is here. Move quickly and quietly. You are still unable to... Oh, I can actually skip. Okay, well, I'm just a little dumb then. Although I am feeling like just being a little weird, so I think I am just gonna give the computer the really bad Shatner, because why not? You are still unable to use most of your latent abilities. Don't forget that, Samus. Stop at the navigation room on the way. Uplink from there. Is your objective clear? Hell yeah. Now, go to the quarantine bay. Yeah, so the trick to doing a really bad Shatner impression... Oh, also one thing I do want to do is I want to actually show you at this beginning part a really good way I found to actually get through these games pretty quick. I mean, you might be playing them for a while, but according to the in-game time, you will get through them kind of quick. But we gotta kind of kill a little bit of time, so... Yeah, it'll be... hopefully it'll make sense when it makes sense. But the trick to doing the really bad Shatner impression is instead of pausing on any, basically any syllable or word mid-conversation that, would really make sense to, basically you need to pause on the syllable before or after, or word before or after that. That way it sounds a little weird, it's definitely not natural, and it kind of builds a little extra suspense. Yeah, it's basically the, I guess the whole joke that they do in Futurama about the dramatic pause. It's quite literally that, nothing more. You just say things weird and then it draws your attention to it for some reason because it sounds so weird, and then you can just kind of pretend that it's dramatic. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has its place and it works really well when it works really well, but doing it constantly, that's why I call it the bad Shatner. The quarantine bay is ahead. Biosigns are confirmed. Be careful. Alright, that we can do. That we can do. I suppose. God, how nice would it be if we just, you know, walked in, killed a thing, walked out, and the computer was like, oh, hey, you quelled the threat before it could ever, you know, get too widespread and become a galactic issue. How awesome would that be? Also, something really wrecked this place. I'm sure we totally won't inevitably have to deal with that at some point. No, that's totally not how these games work. We're gonna walk out, the computer's gonna be like, hey, good job. You have, did the thing, and now you can leave. We're all done here. That'd actually make for a really good, like, short Metroid game. I don't know why, but I'd love to see, like, a collection of really short Metroid games that are all just dumb things like that. It's like the big grand adventures that never turned out to be that grand. It was just, you know, someone was expecting something to be significantly worse than it was actually going to be. That'd be kind of awesome. This is unfortunate news. The specimens brought back by the field team were infected by X-parasites. The X can mimic its prey. Any specimen could have hosted it. Before the explosion, a security sensor scanned 1. The gelatinous X parasites invade and rapidly reproduce, killing the host creature. They also absorb DNA and use it to mimic the host. I'm sorry, I just realized doing the whole dramatic pause BS is incredibly counterproductive when the dialogue is literally on screen. It just makes it that much dumber. Oh my god, but you know what? Like I said before, I'm just feeling like being a little weird, so I'm just gonna keep going with it. You were almost killed by an X infection. Only the Metroid vaccine saved your life. It seems the Metroids were the main predators of the X. That's why the vaccine works so quickly and so well. But it has also changed your cellular makeup. You will never be infected by an X again. In fact, you can now absorb any free-floating X parasites without a host by merely touching them. This will allow you to This will allow you to replenish health and restore weapons. I can totally read, don't mind me. You may also restore latent abilities this way, so pursue free X parasites when you possibly can. The station is home to species. It is home. God damn. Here we go. The station is home to many species, some violent ones. We must keep the X out of the breeding environments at all costs. This is vital. Samus. I am already detecting massive biosigns in this region. The X are gathering. This may be our chance to exterminate them, but you're only at 10% battle capacity. Your chance of survival is extremely low. The Federation needs you alive and on duty, Samus. Is your objective clear?
Hell yeah.
Now, get going. I've released the lock on level 0 hatches. Look for the blinking hatches. Oh yeah, that's another thing with this game, is instead of opening doors with weapons, which I guess we still kind of technically do, just by shooting them, we don't actually open them with, specific weapons. So, even though these are green, we don't open them with, power missiles. Basically, if you look at, the top right corner, we have, security clearances. So it does kind of break away from the traditional Metroid whatever BS a little bit. But I think this game actually does some really kind of cool things, just for kind of the sake of storytelling, I suppose. So, I don't really mind how this game sort of, I don't want to say shoehorns you, but kind of guides you through the game a little bit more, at least compared to other games. I was about to say something that I realized that would be spoilers, so basically now that I've gotten to this save, and I've kind of wasted a lot of time going through this really slowly, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the menu and see how long it took. So, I'll see you in just a second. Alright, and we are... Of course we're only 1 minute into the game. So basically what I'm gonna do is... God, I'm really only gonna be doing this to save 1 minute, but it should hopefully prove the point. I'm gonna erase this data, and I'm gonna restart. That way, basically, if I just simply follow the, optimal path or whatever... Oh god, I gotta sit through all this again, don't I? Okay, whatever. I'll see you in just a moment once we actually get into the game. Alright, here we go. So now, I'm not gonna pause, I'm just gonna get through this as quickly as I can, from point A to point B, and so on. And I don't think it's gonna save all that much time, but like I said, I'm kind of trying to do this to prove a little bit of a point. Basically, as long as you're not afraid to restart from the previous save, if you don't feel like you've gotten an area, you feel like you could have maybe done an area faster, you're not afraid to replay an area, maybe 2 or 3 times, or kind of maybe experiment taking other routes, other passages through certain areas, maybe even just trying different things fighting certain bosses. You might be able to save a lot of time. But yeah, clearly we've already gotten through this significantly faster, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get up to that save, and let's see just how much time we save. And there we go. Okay, so let's see just how long that took. And our time is not even a minute. So yeah, it might be a little overkill this early on in the game, but I just kind of wanted to show that off, just in case, someone, watching this wants to maybe give it a shot for themselves. And it doesn't so much apply to this Metroid game specifically, it's really any Metroid game. It's just a way that I found of getting through them pretty quick, if you really want to. So, Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's probably something somewhat simple, but for anyone who hasn't realized that you could do that, it might help quite a bit. I have received news from HQ. They can support you with downloadable weapons data. Once you have this data, you will be able to use missiles. This will help against some enemies that your beam cannot hurt. Head to the data room for the download. The data room is here. Is your objective clear? Hell yeah. With missiles, your chance of survival climbs to 20%. Oh, Mr. Computer, are you doubting Samus? Because that is not a bet that you really ever want to bet against. Also, do you pronounce it data or data? Data? Data. 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 I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter as long as you understand what the word is supposed to be. I mean, that's how language works, but whatever. Anyway. The gruff confederation wait, whoa. Okay, my brain's reading 2 lines at once. That computer reminds me of a gruff federation commanding officer I served under, named Adam Malkovich. He called me Lady on missions. From anyone else, it would have sounded sarcastic, but Adam made it sound dignified. Out of some respect, and with some irony, I named the computer after him. I forgot about that. I actually really like that little... I guess that's just a little peek at, like, Samus having a sense of humor. Samus is a character I don't think I'd ever want to see fully fleshed out, just because... Well, she's Samus. She's kind of the silent, strong, take-no-shit kind of character. And I really don't think she needs much of a personality to, you know, be a good character. She's perfectly fine being just that, despite what I think a lot of people say about... For some reason, always specifically female characters. It's okay for guys to be that way, but apparently not women. Not that that's the point I want to make. But I do like that little bit of a, like, a little bit of a peek at the character, I guess. I think it's kind of fun. Electrical interference has knocked out the elevators on the main deck. This may be related to the X. I'll work on it. As for you, try to find another way to the target. It's located here. I'm reading huge bio signs, so I hope your missiles work. To reload missiles, you can use a recharge room or absorb a special type of X parasite. You'll see them. Try it out. Is your objective clear? Hell yeah. Missiles are your only hope. Do not hesitate to use them. Now, find a way to the target. This is also another thing I really like about this game, and it really kind of gives you a tell of who's played this game and who hasn't. But, yeah, we kind of go off the map a little bit. Actually, we go off the map a lot in this game. And I know there's like a very vocal group of people who really did not like this game. Which, you know, is perfectly fine. If you don't like a game, you really don't need to justify yourself. But, it's... When we basically got on this, arrived on this station, it immediately gave us a map of this area. And it's not, like, entirely filled out, but it gives us, like, the silhouette of it. But the thing is, we are, what? Oh god, I'm 24 minutes into the recording, but, I think according to the game, I'm, like, not even a minute into the game. Or, I guess, maybe a minute or 2 into the game, really. And we're already kind of going off the map, off the grid, outside of... you know, whatever it is. And yes, this game does kind of shoehorn you into certain areas, or I guess kind of hold your hand through it just a little bit, at least compared to other Metroid games. Oh god, gotta do a little multitasking here. But you can kind of... You do have to actually go and explore on your own. It's not so entirely like, nowhere near as bad as like Zero Mission, where it quite literally gives you like an objective marker on the map at all times. Which, again, a different game, meant for, you know, different people, really. That's all it really comes down to. I'm not gonna pretend like it's better or worse for it. But I do really like that little detail in this game. Also, I'm not gonna be worrying about items too much. I know this game does have, I guess, 2 ending parameters, basically item collection rate, and then, the amount of time actually spent in the game. So, I'm just gonna be focusing purely on time. And if we put enough missiles in this guy real quick... There we go. Oh god, except I'm out of missiles, so give me those, give me those, give me those. Okay, there we go. That's the other really nice thing, is even though these guys do a ton of damage, they do at least give you... Oh, right, I need to shoot him. Oh, yes, missiles, come here. There we go. There we go, okay. Cut that really close. You can basically shoot them and they kind of dispense a bunch of eggs parasites. In theory, you could probably stay at full health forever, even though they do a lot of damage. But it also lets you get ammo back, that way you can actually stand a chance. It doesn't completely punish you just because, you know, you accidentally wasted a single missile. So, in that sense, this game is actually a lot more forgiving than other Metroid games. Actually, not even kind of. It is incredibly forgiving in that sense. But, as a result, I feel like it gives the game a little bit more room to sort of kind of tell a story, which I think is kind of nice. You're not so hell-bent on survival at all costs, or I guess at all times, which I kind of like. Although, I did think I just realized, I have no idea what I just said. I did realize, I think where I want to end this video, so let's keep going a little bit farther. Samus, it is as I feared. The breeding environments have been invaded by X-parasites. Sector 1, SRX, shows several abnormalities on biosensors. Sector 1 is a simulation of the SR-388 ecosystem. To get there, take the main elevator to the access shaft and use Elevator 1. Is your objective clear? Hell yeah. Use the navigation room on the way, just inside for further briefing. I'm not sure, but I think that whoever allowed the X into the environments may also be linked to the earlier explosion. Alright, so one thing I do want to show off, because I'm just going to be resetting the game, because for some reason, the way I imagine recording this, is going to require me to do it. But we got Ridley on ice, which sounds like, you know, like a retelling of Metroid on, like, figure skates or whatever, but actually that might be... I mean, it's probably awesome just by default, because, you know, figure skating, whatnot. I've never been too big a fan of it, but I'd watch it. So, yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this video here, for no reason in particular, but, you know, see you next time.